Hello and welcome to No Clip Mode, the thing where we do the stuff with the games. I'm your host, Glitch. These are human people.
This is human person 1 is Ocelot.
Human person 2, although whether or not a human is debatable, would be Doorman.
Doorman, Glitch, and... So anyway, the video game here you are witnessing is the infamous Deadliest Towers for NES. It was originally hailed by Sean Baby as the worst NES game of all time. I disagree. I don't think it's all that bad.
I have to think by sheer numbers, it can't possibly be the worst.
Well, that's actually one of the things.
There are so many awful NES games.
Like, I actually really like this game, but, oh, you see all those jaggy things at the bottoms of the walls? Like, where, okay, so every time an enemy hits you, you bounce backwards depending on where you're facing. And if an enemy hits you and bounces you onto one of those ledges, or actually just kind of near it, you don't have to touch it at all, then you instantly die. You fall off it and you're dead.
Hence, deadly in Deadly Towers.
Well, see, this isn't even the towers. This is the entry castle. As you can see, I'm ignoring a lot of the doors while I walk through. Oh, those circle hearts you pick up give you plus 10 life for each one. Normally you start with 100 life, but I did a lot of grinding before I started this. You can tell because I already have the parallel shot, and I'm moving faster than normal. And not taking an egregious amount of damage. That's because I spent like 3 hours in dungeons getting items. But the parallel shot allows you to throw 2 swords at once. You can't throw any more swords until the ones you throw are off the screen, but as long as those go off the screen, you can throw them as fast as you want. When they hit an enemy, they disappear, so you can really chunk enemies. You don't actually have to get a single power-up to beat this game, as long as you have like a turbo controller and you get really close to the bosses. You just hold the button and they die. That's not what I did with this. I ended up grinding instead so I could show it off a bit more, but it's entirely possible to do it the other way. Oh, where he was just standing next to that pipe and wiggling around, the geometry in this game is really annoying. If you try to hug the walls so that you don't end up in a surprise dungeon, you end up getting caught on a lot of pillars and those weird little pipes, and even just corners of walls. Oh, some of the enemies are really hard to see as well because they just sort of like gap out and vanish sometimes. And when they do, they just like ram into you. This is
the NES for you.
Well, yeah. You can. I'm burning a bell. Burning a bell. That was part of the result of me screwing around with passwords for a little while after I did my grinding. I started off with 86 life. Normally start off with 100, but I'm a doofus. Anyway, I just burned like 3 bells right there. You don't normally get those until you kill the bosses, but like I said, password finagling. I'm actually missing the best weapon in the game in this, because I didn't grind that far. You'll see why later. And this is a tower. Outside of the cavern complex, this is the first tower leading up to the first boss.
But is it deadly?
If I didn't have all the amazing armor I have, yes. Because you start off with, like I said, 100 life normally. And with no armor, just about every enemy that hits you takes somewhere between 20 and 40 life off of you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So you have to be extremely careful. And that's not all that hard, really. I'm being pretty haphazard with this. The only things that will pretty much consistently hit you, if you're being careful, are those bats. You saw one just a second ago really harrying me. But the bats move so fast, and they can fly off screen in like an instant, and they just pop up out of nowhere. And they home in on you. They're one of the only enemies that actually tracks you. But they're just a serious pain. And if you don't have your armor, they kill you more often than anything else. The music in this game is something that I actually do really like. And see, this is up the staircase from the caverns. This is the actual tower to the first boss. But the music in this game I actually really like. I think the musical score is pretty decent for the NES. The sound effects are sort of not great, but the music is nice. One of the things that makes this game hard, by the way, if you can tell, is just the egregious amount of enemies. Oh, there's another circle heart. These ladders, whenever you're on a ladder, you can't shoot above you or below you unless you get hit by an enemy, and then while you're being knocked backwards, you can, like, panic fire and throw swords like mad. But if you look to the sides or diagonally, you can shoot as much as you want, like normal. The ladders are kind of weird. Cold Killer. Yeah, this is the first boss. He's actually not that bad. He doesn't do much damage at all, even if you have no armor. And there's his bell.
Ice gorilla.
Yeah, he is indeed a flying ice gorilla.
Well.
And now we go back down the tower.
I would say points for originality, but it is still a gorilla at the top of a tower, trying to throw things at you.
Cold Kong.
So I give that boss a 6 out of 10.
My favorite boss, I think, is the beet plant. You'll see it later. Beet plant, yes.
Well, beets are relatively easy. They're red color.
No, it's beet like boom, boom, boom. That
No,
kind
I'm thinking more BE.
It looks like a big green heart.
Do you know why beets are colored red, by the way?
They're full of blood.
Yes. Exactly. Be wary of beets.
Oh, those
Red Indian all Greek salads you cross.
God, Greek. Those coins you keep seeing, by the way, are Lutter. They're money that you use in the shops. Now, you won't see me go into a shop until in a much later video, whenever I demonstrate the dungeons. Well, look at all these crosses. Look how Christian this tower is for being evil. Isn't that great? Look,
Foreshadowing involved there.
look how slow Prince Meyer climbs on stairs.
That's his name?
Yeah,
Prince Meyer?
Prince Meyer.
Okay.
I love his sprite, by the way. I don't know why, I just really enjoy his sprite. It looks nothing like what the cover art of him looks like, but, you know, much
well,
like
any
Mega Man.
NES game, you gotta
Grain of salt.
par for the course.
Oh, here we are, going left. Time to go into the second cavern. Oh, there's another circle heart. Oh, something to keep in mind. I didn't demonstrate it because I already got all these items whenever I was grinding before I started recording. But in each of these towers, there is at least one secret room with a free upgrade. You don't have to go dungeon crawling to buy. Which is really, really convenient. You can just run up, avoid most of the enemies, grab the upgrade, then die, and be back at the start.
Or you could not die
No,
and
that
actually play the game properly.
not dying wastes time in this game. It is Deadly Towers, after all. Look at all these stumps and rocks. That's just more geometry to get in the way while you're climbing the tower, I swear to God. These
Well,
puddles...
There's a stump at like the 5th floor of a tower.
It happens a lot. There's a tree right there. You see that sad little freaking tree?
Some very fertile bricks that they made this tower out of.
Yup. Tower. Every tower, by the way,
It's
is...
nice of them to let you know that.
Every tower is named Tower. Oh, if you look closely on the walls, you can see 2 carrots and a flower. I genuinely love this game. Don't think I don't. Oh, those hearts, by the way, refill 10 health, I believe.
Like that.
Yep, 10 health. And, oh, those bats aren't as bad as the white-rimmed bats because they don't fly diagonally as often and they don't home in on you. They just fly aimlessly. There's a super strong version of the the white bordered bat that you see later. It's a gold bat. Oh my god. They're terrible. You only see them in the last level, though. Oh! That hit me. Oh, look, 2 more carrots.
Death Bear.
Death Bear, indeed.
Holy cow.
And now he is dead.
What the hell?
Remember,
That was anticlimactic.
remember when I said that if you get really close to a boss, you can tap the button to throw your swords as fast as humanly possible? Well, Death Bear starts...
The video was coming.
Yeah, Death Bear starts right next to the door, and so you can unload and kill him in like a second. It's amazing. Anyway.
Sort of outro there.
Next time on No Clip Mode, Deadly Towers Part 2.